There's a brotherhood between us. If you're not willing to give up everything, you've already lost.
Act of Valor centers around the men of Bandito Platoon SEAL Team 7, who are called out to the field after a CIA operative has been murdered in Costa Rica and his partner kidnapped. The two were trailing affiliates of a drug smuggler named Mikhail Kristo-Trojkovic, played by Alex Vyadov, who is believed to have ties to Chechen terrorist Abu Shabal, played by Jason Cottle, the mastermind behind a bomb that killed dozens of school children and a U.S. ambassador in the Philippines. Upon rescuing the kidnapped agent, the SEALs find intel on site that does directly link Kristo to Shabal, who is planning to bring jihad to the West. The only thing standing between our nation's security and a madman's fantasy? The Navy SEALs! So what if it's basically Call of Duty the movie? So the idea of making a film about SEALs doing SEAL shit came to directors Scott Wagg and Mouse McCoy when they were shooting a training video for the Navy. As the film was in development, the directors realized that there was no Hollywood actor or stuntman capable of portraying the SEALs as realistically as they had intended. As a result, the film features real-life, active-duty Navy SEALs portraying themselves in an action movie environment. As a result, what we have in Act of Valor is nothing short of authentic, at times bordering on being a documentary. Yes, it is a transparent attempt on the US Navy's part to use film as a recruitment tool similar to how they used the original Top Gun. No, it is not propaganda, no matter what certain uninformed, bleeding heart, guano-brained dolts would have you believe. Even without it being a recruitment tool for the Navy, it's still a love letter to the SEALs and a cinematic testament to what they go through for our nation's security. The only snag in filming was that the SEALs were all active duty at the time of filming, meaning that whenever they weren't available, they were being deployed to insert third world terrorist infested shithole here, meaning that filming took place slowly over the course of 2.5 years. Being that this film had the full endorsement of the Navy, every ounce of equipment the SEALs use is authentic. There's no one-man army charging into enemy lines like John Matrix on steroids. They're operating as a team, using real combat tactics, hand signals, and lingo to communicate to one another. Several scenes, including the action sequences themselves, were actually shot on Navy training sites to provide the film with realistic locations. The movie was shot entirely on digital cameras, mainly for budgetary purposes, but unlike other movies that are shot digitally, this movie looks cinematic. Sweeping wide shots capture the scenery, and the size of the cameras, Canon EOS 5D Mark IIs for the record, allowed them to at times be mounted onto the SEALs' helmets to capture their point of view. And the action, while choppy and shaky here and there, is still intense. With the budget as small as it was, there is very little CGI. The explosions are real. When bad guys get shot, for the most part, real blood squibs explode all over their bodies. The POV shots lend to the action rather well in giving the viewer a sort of first-person shooter vibe. There's even a scene where the SEALs find themselves under fire, only to be saved in a Deus Ex Machina moment by SWCC boats, Special Warfare Combatant Craft crewmen, who open fire with their machine guns and use real live ammunition to destroy a couple of shitbag trucks. Yes, let me repeat that. Live ammunition was used on film here. There's not much to comment on for the cast due to certain conditions set by the Department of Defense. The SEALs' names are never revealed to us. Critics have dumped on them for not being professional actors, but as far as I'm concerned, their not being pro actors adds to the authenticity. They're true badasses that don't need to emote or have Oscar-winning sob fests. These guys are here to be SEALs, nothing more. Jason Cottle, however, is excellent as Abu Shabal, in that he's not an over-the-top bad guy, even though he does lose his cool in at least one scene. He's the purest example of a cold-blooded zealot, willing to stop at nothing to destroy America. Ukrainian actor Alex Vyadov plays Shabal's partner Kristo. He's not given much to do apart from demonstrate that he's got the green to fund Shabal's war, along with a stick up his ass. The rest of the cast is extremely minimal and, honestly, barely worth mentioning. The final verdict on Act of Valor: if you're looking for something to watch for Memorial Day, this one is definitely a solid rental.